So you finished your service? Oh wait. Did that day end as planned? Like you just that was your graduation, sir? Your graduation?
Yeah. Then like the last thing you do is like do this whole thing where you give back your weapon. Like you do inventory.
Yeah.
It's also of course a drag.
Yeah. Inventory
sucks, but I would have had to go back every year for another month until I have an entire year.
Right.
It's because I only did a half a year. But when I went back, the hardship and sorrow gave focus to my life. And I knew I gotta do something. I don't wanna work in factories. I don't wanna I wanna do something creative with my life. I still wanna try, and I wanted to retry when I got out of the army. So after a lot of like applications and like just searching around when I got out, because when you get out you just don't have nothing to do, I found a job at an agency, at this graphic design agency. And I was really happy. It's like, okay, let's just be graphic design artists. That sounds pretty neat. And the things they had me do there were like designing, like drawing penguins for an iPhone game.
Oh my god, I remember that, dude.
And
fucking concept of it you were showing. This is like the most basic iPhone game.
You made Club Penguin?
It was far worse than Swiss. But anyway,
hey, the Swiss are like the kings of like iPhone games. You know that?
They're the fucking gays of iPhone games. But it was fucking. They're the queens of iPhone
actually,
games.
I think it was Finland. Actually, no, my bad.
It made me realize if I'm gonna do something creative, I'm gonna have to do it myself because I can't do this. This is fucking torture. Like this, I don't want to live when I can.
When did we talk about website stuff? I remember there was a point before I started like talking to you. We discussed web stuff. It was probably like 2011 or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
11.
Was that well after all your military stuff?
That was after the military stuff. That was during that graphic design.
Oh, okay.
And I thought like I'm gonna dig back up that old domain name Shadbase I had and turn it into, resurrect it and turn it into like a webcomic site. I thought like fuck it, I'm just gonna try it. Even though I don't know how to draw, I'll just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I started that like while having that shitty graphic design bullshit, and I said like I'm gonna quit that and just get away from Switzerland. Say fuck Switzerland and move to Canada. Just hit like the reset button and just do whatever I can to make this website happen and be able to live off of myself in Canada.
There was no plan B.
There was
only
no
plan
no
A.
alternative.
Making this work, balls or nothing.
Yes.
All right.
I was not interested in the possibility of defeat.
Nice.
Not at all. And so I did that, and like after like 1.5 years in Canada, I managed to somehow establish the website. I didn't even know how it happened. All the online hate and all, like there was so much hatred, like just real hatred.
Why? Do you know what it was though? That was like the equivalent of like the hazing, where you had to have a thick skin.
Yes.
I think other people would have given up, or other people would have been run out of town. But this was like your military training. You could take it all day long, and you just kept smiling.
Why was there hatred? I don't remember.
The hatred.
Because of what the
content. It's stuff like people thought. I mean, like the topics wise, because like we talked all the time, but like he was always getting stuff. Like people thought he was a murderer.
Pedophile.
But not only the content, it was also because I couldn't draw properly. I was a really easy target because I couldn't draw. I
proportions were off.
But you've got a much bigger fan base now, and you probably draw the same kind of shit, right? No?
Still similar, like still rooted in the same area.
Would you say you've softened up a little bit? Not softened up, but do you think you've changed direction? Do you think you did that and you're like, that's enough, I've done that.
I've gone less. I've obviously grown up a little bit, so I've noticed that I'm a lot less violent than I used to be.
You know, Shad, I should thank you also, because you kind of like rerouted me back to what I used to do.
You know, I should thank you, because a lot of people think that I got Corey into drawing porn. No, Corey got me into drawing it way back.
No, the truth is, when I first came, I'm not gonna. People can go look it up if they want, but when I first came to the internet, I wasn't one of those people who came to upload his AMVs to YouTube and all this like shit. I didn't come to play Newgrounds games. The first thing I did was to start drawing porn on the internet. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't go to any anatomy classes. I had no idea what I was doing. So I came on, I just drew porn, but I drew what I wanted to see. And since And then I met a friend who kind of like shaped my vulgarity. I kind of wanted to, because I have been introduced to all this other stuff, and I'm the kind of person who, you know, when someone tells me to do something, I do the opposite. Like, they're like, do this, and I'm like, okay, I'll do the opposite, because it's what I want to do. When I see something, I see the potential in the other thing, and that's kind of like where nobody was doing this, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it, and then I did it, and then I kind of shaped myself, but I kind of like got back into doing like cartoons and stuff, but in the back of my mind, I was always like, man, I need to go back to drawing, like art. I need to go back to learning how to art, because like now I feel like every day I'm learning something new about anatomy. I'm learning something new about colors, lighting, and it's just like it's slowly I feel like I'm shaping, and that's because I was given another opportunity a few years ago. Whenever basically like I hit the bottom of the barrel, and I'm like, okay, I need to change my life around, or I'm gonna have to go live with my parents and possibly hang myself. Doing something like that. So. And now it's like, here I am, and that's mainly because of Chad. But yeah, that's
cool, Corey. But also, I also have to say, like, to all like kind of the miserable reception, like all the hatred, there's some positive stuff in that, because like hatred nourishes you, or in my case, nourishes me more than praise. It makes me, like, it is like that gives me the teeth to bite and tear. You know, like the fists to bludgeon. It is that which makes me stay angry. You know, and if I stay angry, I stay productive.
Yes, Chris. Something else too is like, if you're getting a lot of hatred, it inspires you in a way.
Yes.
Well, I know that's what you're saying, but for me, it's not the same as what you're saying. When I first started off on the internet, I was a complete faggot, right? I was a horrible faggot.
I think everybody was.
I was the biggest faggot ever.
I think
right.
You have no.
I think we should draw straws on that.
So what I'm saying is, if you get a lot of hate, everyone's like, you're a faggot. You're like, oh, okay, sorry, and then you're not a faggot anymore.
Yeah, like, I feel like at this point, anyone could say anything to me, and I would just be like, oh, all right.
You know, the internet is a weird place to be new to, because there's a lot of like unspoken rules that you have to learn along the way.
You can't get it's pretty much a lot like your place to like, okay, what you put out there, everyone will see forever. It will be saved forever.
Yeah, you pretty much can't be a dick ever on the internet. You have to learn to.
Or if you're a dick, you
have to own it. You have to own it. Absolutely.
You cannot peddle around stuff. If you're an asshole to someone and someone corners you and says, "Oh, you're an asshole," and you're like, "Yeah, I'm an asshole because this is my reasoning." It's
like in school. If the bullies bully you and you show them that you're vulnerable, they'll keep doing it and keep doing it even harder.
Yeah.
They'll have the meanest rage faces to send you to really get you fucking blood boiling.
And it's not like you could like convert them or anything. Like, death is the only lesson they would understand.
Exactly. Pretty much what it comes down to. It's like the baby rule that you learn in school. It's like if someone's
But the internet is so different than like like your day-to-day offline life. Because you're interacting with so many people at the same time.
You'll never have to see from that you think you'll never have to see.
Well, not only so it's exactly that, which means not only are the interactions are not only so much more, like in terms of quantity, but they're oftentimes a lot more vicious, uncensored. You know, because they don't think they're going to see you, so they think they can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
So it's like, no matter who you are, or no matter how much experience you have in life dealing with people, like I didn't join the game until I was like 30, and I wasn't really doing YouTube shit until I was like 31. But it's like, I felt like I dealt with a lot in my life, and I felt like I could deal pretty well. But I remember when I first started out too, like there'd be a wave of certain criticisms, and even then, like as solid as I thought I was new to that. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was trying to justify myself and trying to figure out, trying to be like, hey, maybe I can single this person out and be logical with them, and then it'll make sense. And then they just respond with like, even whatever.
You can't justify on the internet. It's like you either own up. You cannot fake anything, and if you do fake something, you own up to fake.
But now, I mean, I feel like in the last couple years, I mean, it didn't take very long. I figured it out pretty quickly. Like, this is what this beast is. But after that, I literally, because I get asked by people who aren't like online people sometimes, like, oh, well, how do you deal with the criticism? Like, oh, okay, so you know what I did? I did a thing for how it should have ended. It was a Lord of the Rings cartoon.
Yeah.
And if you saw initially, the dislike to like ratio was like 1/3.
Really?
I mean, this thing got like 1 million views in a week, and like 1/3 of the fucking people hated this thing.
Why?
And because they thought I was pushing the gay agenda. They thought there was all this weirdest. First of all, it's the only cartoon I've ever done that had any kind of.
I'm
gay
sorry,
joke.
I don't mean to tread on like a topic like Lord of the Rings, but I find Lord of the Rings to be easy game for gay
It's
jokes.
huge, and I guess people were saying, "Yeah, we haven't seen this a million times." It's like, well, I haven't, honestly. But regardless, the point being that there was so much hate. But at this point, this was very recently, and some people were asking, like, how do you deal with all these negative? I saw all those comments because I linked people to it. Like my friends back in Washington, and they're not like, you know, internet people, but they saw the comments, and they were like, "Oh my god, dude, are you okay?" Like, and I was like, "You have no idea how hilarious." At this point, maybe back if I first made a video, yeah, I'd probably take it to heart. But at this point, every comment that was like, "What the fuck is this bullshit?" or whatever, I laughed harder with every single one of them.
Chris
Zach are very much like that now too.
Yeah.
It used to fucking kill me.
I don't think it ever. I'm not saying it never bothered me because there are definitely those comments that are like well written.
There are comments that you're like, man, that hurts.
Nick, it's literally like the stuff like I give to Shad. Like I'm like, here, Shad, here's some art, and then he uploads it, and people
No, but
just
like Chris
flabbergasted that this is what.
Chris and I did an improv where it was like a guy going to an event with his
I loved that one. That was my favorite one where he smashes the dog.
I thought it was really funny, and then the fact that all the comments, like there were two kinds of comments. There was one kind of comment that was like, "This is funny." The second was like, "This isn't funny," and the third was like, "This isn't funny," and also "Fuck you for abusing animals." The ones where people were like, "Fuck you," I laughed at those.
Yeah.
But if I see like, you know, to keep it short, I think that the comments you take to heart are the ones that you secretly agree with.
Oh yeah, you knew from the beginning.
About.
Totally.
So like if somebody like watched like Hellbenders or something, and they're like, "This is whatever," like I think it's great. Like the orphanage video, right? That I did. I like that. I still think it's a really funny video. So the comments are like, "Fucking, this is funny." Like I disagree. I don't care. But the clown video I did, I was like, "This is filth." And so even it was like 98% good comments, but the 2% that were like, "You think this is funny?" I was like, "Oh no, they see it. They see my insecurities." That's what kills you. It's when you're like those small cracks, those one comments, like a sea of them, that point out the one insecurity you have. Like, this frame is weird. You're like, "I thought so too."
I don't know what you're talking about. The clown one was good.
I like the clown one
I can't
too.
stand it.
I thought it was Jeff's best voice acting work.
Look. Chad, you did a great job with all the backgrounds. Jeff did a great job with the voice acting. You did a great job with your voice acting.
I did one line.
What? You know, all I did say is I'm proud of. What did you do?
I was your support guy. Yeah.
Fuck you,
man.
Well, you can see I'm still proud of the animation for that. I think animation wise that broke a new level, but writing wise, it's filth.
Do you not even remember what I did for that cartoon, you piece of shit?
And Chris too, you fucking
I
dope.
dragged an explosion.
Chris
I added the screen filter.
Yes, dude.
I shook that camera.
He added papers when the guy kicks the door in. Ladies.
Is that After Effects? The camera?
Dude, I remember you.
Yeah.
I made that cartoon.
Do you also add a filter on top with After Effects?
Yeah, every cartoon I make, I put like 0.1% blur just to make it look kind of shitty. And
This
noise.
is the faggot boy.
Is that what Harry does with
Probably.
with Dr. Bees? He makes it looks really like
I think that's an actual like plug-in filter. I don't know.
yeah.
But anyways, just to kind of wrap the story up.
Yeah, sorry.
After Canada, like I kind of got to talk with Corey again, and sooner or later, like Corey said, like, "Why don't you just move to America?" Like it was after 1.5 years living there, and I was like, "That is a great idea." And
you moved here.
Luckily, you're an American citizen.
I moved
right?
here, and luckily I was not only a Swiss citizen, also an American citizen because of my heritage, and that's how I got to know all you guys.
Got to those bozos, but
No, but like I also have to say that like getting to know like Corey and like and you guys and stuff online, that added a lot to like my whole confidence of like I'm not completely insane. You know, it's like I'm not a complete.
well, you are, but you're insane with us. Also,
Yeah.
things. Yeah, you're insane. You're insane. You're good company with your insanity. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the criminal justice department guys saw some of the work that like Stamper
They would have high-fived.
or some of these guys done, would they have? Do you think they would have?
Corey definitely, but
I would have
don't
been
know about
condemned to the army.
I don't think I've ever delved too far into anything.
no, maybe only like some of the Nazi jokes. The Europeans really don't like that.
Yeah,
So Chris would have been fucked.
No, Europeans don't mind it. Germans don't like
And
it.
Switzerland is a little.
I
bit...
feel like the countries that were kind of really fucked by Germany. Like if you walked into Poland and you're like, I'm a Nazi. I don't think they'd like it that much.
Yeah, no,
I feel like,
but like
there's a
Switzerland
couple
is a lot.
countries.
It gets a lot from Germany because it's right next to.
So I would be in
Like
the same
France is another
situation as
country.
you.
I think Corey a lot of you stuff
I
we
would-
did.
If Zach was
Did I tell you we like share these bonds?
Yes.
Like for sure. We're,
if
like,
Zach got
continuing.
caught at the train station with his Hitler Youth knife,
Is that a criminal
would
offense?
they like?
He would make a lot of friends.
in Nazi prison.
You're Nazis. No, but anyways, yeah.
Well, you're not insane.
And here you are now. And what better place to be?
What better place to be? I love you guys. Like,
Yeah.
I seriously, you're all really.
I have to say,
really
when Chad, when you moved here, the great thing about Chad is he's one of those guys. You don't have to talk to him every day. We didn't talk every day when we lived together. We don't live together anymore, but we did talk every day. But every once in a while, like probably twice a week, maybe once a week sometimes, I'd walk down to get a glass of water, and Chad would cross me, and we were just still conversing.
we'd have a.
4 hours would pass.
I feel enlightened afterwards. Like he shares me his views of like the Cold War and stuff, and I thought like that's actually really enlightening. And I go back and watch a documentary and link me.
It would be
like,
great. I don't know. It was very fruitful. It never felt like we were just kind
Forced, or
of.
like
Never felt
small
contrite. It was like,
talk.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
never felt small talk. It was always very, it was very fruitful. It was like we both.
That's how people should interact.
Exactly.
Like like when you're in your life, like you gotta cut out all the noise. Like you gotta
cut the fat off.
Cut the fat off. Like
Yep.
the distractions, the noise, the people who like you don't feel like interacting with them because something's weird there.
Yeah.
Like, nothing fruitful.
Well, the
will
thing
actually
is
come
too,
from there.
you're one of the few guys that when a conversation's winding down, you know it, and it's a very mutual thing. There are some people who you can talk to who don't get they don't kind of get the feeling.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not gonna drop any names, but yeah, there's definitely certain people where
Some people they don't.
it's like you're literally walking out of the room. You're in a different room. You are up the stairs, and you
they're
can
still
hear them.
talking.
You can
As if
hear
you're
them
standing here.
talking to you like you're right there. Exactly. Like they're continuing the conversation.
I don't know how
I know
feel
what you're
about
talking
this.
about.
And it's kind of, it's not like,
It's baffling.
It's just baffling. It's just baffling, yeah.
You don't get basic human like.
Yeah.
But no, it's like it was always very so. It was like a conversation with you and I never had to be a certain amount of time. You know?
No, it could have been just
An hour,
5 minutes.
5 minutes, 4 hours doesn't matter.
You see, for me
I mean,
coming
for Christ's sake,
downstairs-
with a fucking power went out, we do.
yeah. That was pretty funny. Though. That was pretty funny.
Oh my god!
wait, what happened?
I'd love for you to tell the story. You don't have to drop any names, but I think this is one of my favorite stories.
Okay, basically the power went out and nobody else was home.
Okay.
But like Zach and me and some other guy, and we were talking
We
there
lit
in the
some
living
candles in the
room.
living
We
room.
put some candles up everywhere, and we were talking about like ghost stories. Like we were talking about like things like just kind of the hidden fears in the back of people's minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I brought up like
One person inquired, like, what's the scariest thing that you?
Yes.
Like, what terrifies you the most?
Stickman I've seen all throughout my youth and kept having reoccurring dreams of him. And I've seen him. I could have sworn I've seen him in real life as well. And it all blends together with childhood memories and like just the ghost of my past.
He's bullshitting this with the straightest face you've ever seen. Like
Zach wasn't even sure if I was telling the truth.
I was pretty 50-50. I was like 51, 49. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's fucking with me, but I can't tell because he somehow bubbled up this genuine like fear in his eyes and put it right there. And I was like, man,
And
By candlelight, too.
yeah.
the other person got like really
Petrified.
petrified and like asked me to like draw it and then
Did you just draw a stick?
yeah, I literally just drew a fucking stick figure, and the person almost started crying. I'm not making
He's doing
this up.
going up.
There.
Yeah, no actual like uneasy breathing and shit. It was like,
Yeah, they almost started crying. It's like, oh my god, guys, oh my god. And I was like looking at Zach. It's like, is this me? Is this a fucking hallucination from my past right now?
Just this,
it's a fucking stick figure.
Fucking stick man. Like it was.
Speaking of pranking people, Shad, you are a master prankster. Some people wouldn't necessarily think that, but I think it's because of this honesty that you're talking about, that he can bubble up, like he can just bring it right to the surface, he can hone it in, and you never know if he's telling the truth.
I'd like to say this about Chad. I definitely don't want to overwhelm you with compliments or anything, but everything I'm saying is genuine, right? I feel like the best thing about you is you smell bullshit very quickly, and you're like a hound. You tear it apart like a dog that hasn't eaten for days.
It's more fun to confront it.
Exactly, but sometimes you'll just fuck with people. You'll let him fuck with them, just kind of poke them, just to see
the reaction.
There's that old quote, I can't remember who it's by, but it's kind of like, if you stick a sword in somebody and it's soft, you stick all the way through it. If it's hard, you pull back. It's kind of, I feel like that's what you do a little bit. Like, for example, when Al first moved into the house, do you remember what you said to him that traumatized him?
Oh, when I said
you can't walked in.
You can't be an animator because you look too fit.
No, it wasn't that. Chad walked into Niall on the couch and he's like, I don't think you'll make it to the winter. And he walked out. That fucking traumatized Niall. Yeah. He was destroyed by that.
You carry loaded bullets. Like conversations.
No, but Niall has proved himself to be right.
That's what I mean. So you then you gauge how people react, and then you kind of get some kind of footing.
I don't think you'll do what this is like. Do you know what this is like?
It was like September.
No. Do you know what this is like? Because think of it this way: Niall was probably a really big fan of you because he's a big fan of your art, and then you come in, you're like a wise old man in a cave, and then this guy who's been trying to meet you for years, he sits down, he's really excited, and you see him, you're like, you will die when you leave. That's it. He's just
you look like you made him like a fly. You'll drop up in the winter like the rest of them, like an insect.
And then you go in the other room and you just sit there laughing because he doesn't think he actually thinks you're serious.
But isn't it more interesting to actually kind of get genuine emotions out of people to get past their fakeness?
Yeah, no, just cut right to it. Just cut to the bone.
Because then you can kind of see what they're really about.
What they're made out of.
Yeah,
the fakeness. That's
true, yeah. A lot of people they're not going to be honest with you.
They'll build up a wall to try and create their they'll have this facade, and then it's just because they want to look better than what they really are.
But then I think that makes you look more pathetic though, because once it's like a house card, you tap it with your finger and it explodes down.
You know what? Once you know someone has a facade, it's almost as ridiculous as somebody holding a cardboard cutout of themselves in front of them.
Yeah.
They're walking around this is me, this is me, and it's
you're trying to look around.
That's not reserved to single people. That's everybody is a performer. And then whatever they are second. A doctor is a performer first and a doctor second because he looks exactly like a doctor should be. He talks like a doctor should be. He's a doctor. He wants to show society, I'm a doctor.
So he purposely behaves a certain way.
Yes. You wouldn't want a doctor to walk in drunk off his ass, smashing beer bottles, being like, let's do this operation.
I just feel I think he means if a doctor's yo, you check out the new Family Guy thing. You're not a doctor.
That's what I'm saying.
That's You'd walk and be like, so anyways, the AIDS is killing you?
You also wouldn't want it's always portrayed in cartoons like this, but you also wouldn't want a doctor coming in cracking jokes at something horrible. Yeah. If he was hey, you got a brain tumor, but guess what?
Your brain's gonna be twice as big now.
Yeah. So it's you probably win an Academy Award being the smartest guy ever. It's I have a fucking brain tumor, dude. It's I don't care about your comedy fucking routine.
Well, let's say take Chris for example. You'd expect him to behave a certain way. For example, a guy would have to behave that he has 1 million subscribers or something. He would be kind of stuck up about it, or kind of posh about it, or just have a certain. He'd be one of those YouTubers.
He would carry.
That's what you would expect him to be because he would have to put on that act to meet that standard. But he's not.
What? You'd have a strap with your million gold thing on your back. You'd be carrying it everywhere you go. Just for the occasion.
You just have a tattoo that says 1 mil, 1 mil with the white T logo.
I don't want to be name calling, but there are people who are that.
There are genuinely people.
I've seen so many videos where it's got my 1 million subscriber plaque. I'm gonna hang it in the wall.
Yeah, they settle in hey, YouTube, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's oh, okay.
Even people I consider my friends at some point. They have this certain attitude about them, because they reach certain things, and it's sickening. It really is.
It's you look at them, and instead of seeing something enlightening about their life, they're just yeah, I did it, and it's their avatar is that icon. You're just oh, okay.
It goes
I'm glad that's the most important
part. It's such an easy way to spot like a vain piece of shit almost. Just when they do that stuff.
Zach,
when you got your 100,000 subscriber plaque, you hung it on your desk.
Yeah, you were showing up. We went out to eat. You'd be like, a waitress.
He got that.
You signed it and you put it on your own desk.
Yeah, and then he got that gold chain and he like wrapped it around his neck like a big bling. And it was just like the fucking plaque around his chest.
I walked into a bar. I was like, 100K, baby. Show me them titties. I owe it. You owe it to me.
I owe it.
Yeah.
You've like.
I'm kind of a big deal.
I got a funny story about one of my plaques.
Yeah,
my mom hung the first one in the house in Ireland, and I left it there because just like I'm not gonna bring it. It's just stupid. Anyway, she hung it on the wall, so every time her friends come over, she like brags about it.
Yeah.
And then when her friends go home and watch the videos, then she gets embarrassed about it. And she never knows when to stop. I know.
Chris, what's the one video that your parents like, you don't have to watch?
I had like a half a year long falling out with them over.
But I'm saying, what's a video on your YouTube?
Yeah, what's the video? Was it the
Super Slumber Party?
Oh, because of the jacking off thing?
Yeah.
Jacking off, pissing in someone's head.
The pissing bothered them?
Well, yeah. I mean,
you went to a school where they had a spit hole and they played "Come on the Biscuit."
Obviously. But no, a Super Slumber. Oh, you know what? A lot of my videos. It's weird. So I started off not that bad, and I gradually get worse. So every time I make a new video, they're just like, "Yeah, that's about expected by now." So at first they were kind of.
You're lowering the bar for your parents.
The more horrible I get, the less they seem to care.
I think the last thing I showed my parents was the music video. I don't think I showed them anything else before that or forward offhand.
I don't. You know what? I stopped showing my videos to anyone who doesn't watch online videos.
Yeah, it's about
because
it.
anytime
it's
you
hard
do,
to get to.
the only thing you get is a blank stare,
or that's cool,
or like, oh, that's.
Have you
interesting.
ever had to describe what you do to somebody who's completely 100%
Absolutely
attached? What do you use? What do you call yourself?
Just say
if you say you're an animator,
content creator.
Right. I say I'm a content creator. I'm a creative content creator.
I'll play the guy. Okay, I'll play like a guy.
Sure.
This is gonna go horribly.
What do you do?
I'm an online creative content creator.
Oh, what do you do then? What do you mean? What does that mean?
Oh, it's a number of things. It's voice acting or drawing certain cartoons.
So you work on The Simpsons?
Yeah, no, not The Simpsons. It's more like those, like those little viral videos. They're a couple minutes long.
Viral?
Yeah, they're like these short little internet videos that get shared like on Twitter and social media.
Twitter?
Yeah, the internet. It's like this. It's this conglomerate of.
What is this guy? Fucking internet? I've heard of the goddamn internet.
Conglomerate. It's like what's?
Like, I don't even get into that. I just tell them. Like,
I actually had somebody say to me, "Oh, it's like The Simpsons," and I just went, "Yeah."
The easiest answer really is graphic designer, because they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
No, but
no one wants to hear about your
you
logos.
can just say you're a janitor, and they'll be okay, and they'll be not interested because
That's
you're
true.
just some fucking.
Yeah, you know what?
guy.
I hate talking about my fucking job.
That's what I do.
I say I'm unemployed. Every time. Like,
I say I'm gonna kill myself.
I feel like
you're looking at a dead man
when
walking.
you get your fucking haircut. It's always like you have to spark a conversation. They always gotta fucking talk to you. They come in, you get your haircut, and the first thing they say is like, "So what do you do?" And I'm like,
I fuck little girls. Like that.
I thought they were girls. Part-time, sorry.
YouTuber who does Minecraft.
Yeah.
I'm a professional Let's Play Minecrafter. I'm a professional streamer.
Full-time Minecrafter, part-time pedophile. Hey, baby.
I have a question, and this is genuine. Like, I genuinely have a question. Do you feel awkward when somebody, not farts, but when somebody asks you, like, a question, like, it's like a question you really don't care about? Like, I went into the sports bar, right?
Okay.
Or a sports cut place where you get your hair cut.
Yeah.
And the first thing, since it's a sports place, they were like, "So you like sports?" And then you can't be like, "Oh, I like, soccer." And they're like, "What's your favorite team?" Or like, or "I like football." And like, "What's your favorite team?" And you're just like, I watch it. They know you're bullshitting it.
Yeah.
But do you ever feel weird whenever someone like you have to know what sports are? You have to care about sports a little bit.
I've never been interested in these sports. I've done a lot of sports, and look, if I had to choose between like watching football or playing football, I'd rather just. To me, honestly, you know what it's like, and I have nothing. I don't mean this in like a pretentious fucking like, oh, look at you kind of way, but to me, sports are like the average person's Let's Play. Yeah. It's like I could rather play a video game or watch somebody play a video game. I can either play sports or watch somebody play sports.
That's true.
That's what it's like.
Actually, Shad and I, we were talking about that, weren't we? I thought we were talking about like.
And again, I should say I don't look down at it, but that's what I always viewed it as.
That's a really good way to put it because it basically is a game, but it's like you're watching it, And it's
right. No, I think that was the likening of it. It was like, oh, there's this stigma about, watching people play a game, but it's like, you're watching people play soccer somewhere else, halfway across the world. You're not fucking playing soccer.
And you did nothing to do. You're
watching. It's for visual stimulation. It's also for like, the stakes are high, or you see a cool moment, or you catch like that thing that happens.
Genuinely though, I do like watching hockey occasionally because I like seeing them throw down and beat the shit out of each other whenever they get the chance.
Yeah,
that is very enjoyable. It's like watching like ice wrestling. It's interesting.
Like ice wrestling.
What the fuck is ice wrestling for? You know, ice wrestling.
The guy wrestling a chunk of ice.
No,
slipping out of his arm.
No, it's like they play the game. And then they just throw the gloves off. The gloves are off. They're going in for fucking punches and shit. And it's just